Hello, welcome back to another episode of Nerd News. I'm your host, Chris Chavez, and today we have a lovely show prepared for you today. Can you imagine if I started every episode like that? Ha! Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Nerd News. I'm your host, Chris Chavez. Today we're gonna go back to the X-Men, back to villains casting. That's right, we're gonna fan cast Juggernaut. You already knew that because you saw the thumbnail. We haven't been down the X-Men road as of late, and I wanted to revisit it. I want to get back into the Professor X's Dodge Neon and drive. He can't drive. His legs don't work. That's insensitive. But I wanted to jump back into fan casting X-Men because X-Men is amazing. You love X-Men. I love X-Men. So let's go. Hello dear friends, and thank you again for joining my lovely channel, my lovely nerdy channel, where there's no judgment here. You like whatever comic book character you like, Marvel, DC, it really doesn't matter. And going through the splattering of X-Men villains, because there are a ton, Juggernaut has been really good in the animated show. Not so good in the real life is live action. The live action version of the Juggernaut. But then he also got redeemed, and let's just briefly talk about those. So the last time we saw Juggernaut was in X-Men's The Last Stand, played by Vinnie Jones. And Vinnie Jones was a good choice, except for the fact, and this bothers me, he didn't work out for the role. Oh no, not at all. He didn't prepare. You know what he did? He had a muscle suit. He had a muscle suit, and you could tell how fake that looked. Those biceps, there was wrinkles in those biceps. And thank you so much, Ryan Reynolds, for resurrecting this character in Deadpool 2, which, a little side note, the voice and the face under the Juggernaut helmet was all Ryan Reynolds. So Ryan played two roles in that film. And I don't know what Marvel's gonna do when it comes to villains when the X-Men grace our screens again in a great reboot that we're all excited about. But I wanted to take a stab at Juggernaut. But before we dive into that, you know what's coming. This is your first time subscribing. You should take that mouse and just smash that like and the notification bell, because you can be notified of all things as I create them. X-Men, DC, you name it. We can even talk a whole episode about Squirrel Girl if that's what you want. If you want Squirrel Girl, let me know. All right, so Juggernaut. I like doing these. Let's do a little recap of who Juggernaut actually is. That way you can get a little background into him, and then we'll dive into casting. What do you think? Yeah? Okay, great. So Cade Marco, aka the Juggernaut, was created by the legendary Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. In July 1965, his first appearance was in issue number 12. So he was just a regular guy who got powers from a gem that belonged to a deity called Cyttorak. And it made him into an actual, literal Juggernaut. So he has superhuman strength, superhuman, not disability, durability, that'd be weird. And his helmet on his suit helps him from telepathic abilities, hence why Professor X can't do much to him. And he could beat anyone in an arm wrestling contest. Okay, so there's a little brief rundown, something small just to let you know what he's all about. Now let's dive into casting. Oh, also as a side note, none of these actors will be wearing muscle suits. When you see these actors in the Juggernaut outfit, you know, picture it, because clearly I don't have that. But when you picture it, you will see the muscles. The muscles are real. They will work. Vinnie Jones. Man. First actor is an Australian strongman turn actor. And his films include The Condemned, 2011's Conan the Barbarian remake, the 2015 amazing movie and that of Mad Max, and he was quickly taken out in one swift stab right here by Brad Pitt in Troy. I'm talking about actor Nathan Jones. Okay, so Nathan and the other two actors that are on this list, we're gonna talk about their weight and their height because they need to be big. So with that in mind, Nathan is 6'5", 345 pounds. Now, when I first saw him, it was in Troy. He plays Boagrius. And it was the very first fight scene that you see Achilles, aka Brad Pitt, when you finally see him in action. He's throwing spears at Brad Pitt. He's being big and physical and intimidating. And when you first see him, it's the biggest man I have ever seen in my life. I would run from him. Even if I was Achilles, I'd be like, I could fight anyone. How big can they? Yeah, I'm good. No. You can, I'm good. Now, he brings a level of intimidation that is just, it makes Tom Hardy look small. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you see someone and instantly you're like, I don't want to make them mad because of the things that you would do to me just with one arm. And that's what I want in Juggernaut. I want, obviously the suit is going to help emphasize the size, but I want the actor under that suit to have the performance where you can see this palpable just aggression, you know what I mean? Like, Bane is a good example. Hardy had to act with his eyes, but you felt the things that he was saying. It's the same with Juggernaut. And he's getting more acting roles. The more, experience he gets, the better he's gonna get at his craft. But it's hard not to be typecast when you're someone that big, but there are a lot of roles for guys that are that large, and this one is perfect because technically only one person has ever played Juggernaut, well, Ryan Reynolds, but you know what I mean. And for a new actor to be in Hollywood, this would be a great way to take this character and definitely make it his own, because Vinnie Jones, I mean, yes, he has to work with what he got, but what he got, it was just one-liners. It really wasn't an actual character. He was just thrown in to be like, yeah, the fans want to see this, give it to him. Now, the only thing about Nathan is that he's a little bit older on the list, but that's fine, because the suit, yet again, it'll help. I mean, I don't mind if Juggernaut is a little bit older of an actor. It kind of fares that way with his character anyways, at least in my opinion. I mean, even if he is a bit older, you can cover up his wrinkles with makeup. Oh God, can you imagine if he was watching this and he was like, I'll show you wrinkles. Nathan, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, don't break my legs. So Nathan, my man, continue to do those curls because you are my Juggernaut. Next up is the most notable actor on this list. You will know him by the last credit that I'm going to say. So here are his film credits: Kickboxer Retaliation, Operation Ragnarok, and of course, you know he's gonna be on this list, Game of Thrones. That's right, the mountain himself, Hathor Bjornsson. So Bjornsson is 6'9", 344 pounds. Big boy. So this Icelandic strongman definitely just bursted on the scene when he was in Game of Thrones. I mean, let's face it, seeing that character, I've never understood how big a man can be until I saw that show. I mean, he didn't really have that much dialogue to begin with, but he didn't really need it. You know what I mean? Like, did you see what he did to Oberon's face? No dialogue needed for that. No, I'm not saying he can't handle a lot of dialogue. I'm not saying, he doesn't know how to act, because he does know how to act. Great. Now, if Bjornsson's watching this, he's gonna smush my head like a grape too. Bjornsson, I'm sorry, you're amazing. And if you've ever watched his strongman competitions, the man can move literal mountains. I mean, pun intended. His big frame is crazy because he's really nimble, he's really quick. If you YouTube Conor McGregor and the mountain sparring, it's amazing, because Conor, I mean, Conor's not a big guy, but my God, it might as well be Rick Moranis and the kids from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And yet again, with Bjornsson, he has that look as well. Those eyes, I love it when you have someone who's physically, opposing, but they can just give you that emotion that a character needs, like Batista did in Army of the Dead. So the mountain, my man Bjornsson, dude, it is time to just forget Cersei, forget about her for 1 second. I need you to just drop all that. Yeah, you're a zombie, but we can cure that because you are my Juggernaut. And last on my list is another bodybuilder turned fitness star. Don't know why he did this. Let's talk about him. His films include Kingsman, The Golden Circle, and the latest installment in the Fast and Furious franchise, Fast 9 or F9, whatever you're calling it, The Nevers, and The Final Score. We're talking about actor Martin Ford. Now, Martin is 6'8", 320 pounds, and he is a little bit smaller on this list, but don't let the size fool you, because he's really ripped. I saw a video on YouTube with him, and a gymnast was teaching him how to do front flips and back flips and simple things that you would learn as a beginning gymnast. And he does them pretty good for a man that size, so he's very nimble as well. Maybe he could be the first bodybuilder Spider-Man. There's something for you, Kevin Feige. And his experience in playing larger-than-life characters, he's had a lot of those under his belt. A lot of kind of low-budget action films, but he understands action sequences. He does a lot of them, just like Bjornsson does. And something kind of interesting, if they wanted to, I don't think they should, but the man, those tattoos are real. He has tattoos everywhere, and the crazy thing about it is, it works. It works so well with him. So if they wanted to give Juggernaut a little bit of an edge, something a little bit different, keep those tattoos on him. Don't cover it up with makeup. And if you give him a movie like this, something that's finally going to catapult him a little bit forward when it comes to his status in Hollywood, it could put him to where the Batistas are. The Batistas, there's only one. Because Batista has come a long way since his wrestling days. His acting chops, and he proved it, like I said, in Army of the Dead. He proved that he could do dramatic scenes. So Martin, my good old chap, you know, get some more tattoos, don't worry about it, because you are my Juggernaut. Well guys, that is it for my list on recasting the Juggernaut. Do you agree with my choices? Let me know in the comments below. And before I go guys, what do you think of this? The Juggernaut, right, in a ring, let's say a cage ring, electrified fence, you can't get past it, and he's gonna be fighting the Hulk. Who would win and why? Let me know.